Welcome to Animal Rescue Postmortem, where we analyze animal rescue videos from around the world, breaking down techniques, outcomes, and the critical decisions that make these rescues succeed or fail. Hosted by Chief Carmack, who holds certifications in multiple technical rescue specialties and has over 40 years of experience in human and animal rescue. Get ready for an insightful look at these life-saving operations.
Volume 9, video number 12. We've got a fox caught in what looks like a piece of carpet that's been thrown on the side of the road here. Alright, so let's talk about, first things first, scene assessment. We're on a road, so we always want to be conscious of how busy the road is and traffic, okay? Because we all know that anywhere there's traffic is probably one of the most dangerous places on the planet that you can be, particularly like the interstate or a main street thoroughfare. Alright, that said, let's see the other things to consider here. So I'm going to look at doing a couple different things. One, they use like a jacket or a towel or something here to cover that animal. And I think that's a really good idea, but you have a huge risk of getting bit by this animal. So you want to take all the precautions that you can to not get bitten by it, because we do know that foxes carry rabies. You don't want to get any zoonotic disease, and rabies is one of those diseases that you want to avoid at all costs. And getting bitten by the animal will cause, let's put it this way, if the animal bites you, breaks the skin, you're going to have to take the rabies vaccinations or run a risk of getting rabies. You still run the risk of getting rabies anyway. And then if you're able to contain the animal and it broke the skin, they're going to cut its head off and send it to the lab for testing, because that's the only way to do it at this time and point in history. So what have you really accomplished by doing that? You're not. So you haven't really accomplished anything except the death of the animal, which is what I believe we're trying to avoid by doing the rescue in the first place. Now, that said, we want to protect ourselves from getting injured by the animal. So that would be protective gloves. I would probably use a catch pole on here and possibly a muzzle. That way I didn't have to cover the eyes or anything else to do this rescue. I could get a catch pole around there, probably get a muzzle around its mouth long enough, because remember I'm using the catch pole to contain it. So then once it's free from this carpeting, then I can take the muzzle that I used to protect myself with off of the animal and then free it from the catch pole. Alright? So the catch pole is restraining the animal in place until those things can be done. And then this animal has got this carpet around its neck, what it appears to me to be around a neck. Here you can see a dark ring around its neck. At first I thought it was a collar, until later on, after they get it freed, you can see a big tab of carpeting come off from around its neck there. Once again, this is where using the cutting tools that I mentioned before for rope, stand by. Using the cutting tools that I advise for cutting nets and rope off of an animal that's entangled in it. These strap cutters that are military surplus, okay, that you can get at your surplus store. You can get them on eBay. You can use these. This is like a box cutter type thing that you can get off of Amazon, okay. And this will, I don't know if this will work as good as these two things will, because this is great for cutting net, but you can see there's a very small gap here, whereas I can get that carpet in there, or several layers of carpet in this thing to do the extrication. Okay, so making that note, that's it. I've talked about PPE, using a catch pole, using a muzzle, protecting yourself from zoonotic disease, and several tools that you might use to cut that off of there. So you can see here in just a second, as soon as it feels like it's getting freed, they will flee, which is why you want to contain them on a catch pole if you're going to use a muzzle. And then you can see right here, directly when I'm using the pointer, this is the portion that was around its neck. And then also, just to finish it off, If I thought the animal was injured, I would transport it to a wildlife rehab center, or at least call them on the phone and say, hey, this is what I got out here in the field. You want to bring it in, or just let it go. And fall back to their advice on the situation. Because in today's modern day, we can take a photograph and send this to them instantly, right? Okay. That's it.